Hi, this is Elaine.Bayless with Inspire Coaching, and this week I want to talk about self-care. I want to spend some time talking about self-care and about treats and rewards because one of the things that I am going to be promoting this month, is actually this great new service that I am working with Sonia Galan to offer. The two of us are offering a massage/coaching session. It's incredible. You get a 1 hour massage from licensed massage therapist Sonia Galan, and halfway through the massage, I actually will come into the room and I will help you process any feelings or memories you may be having, and then I will guide you through a guided meditation to fully relax your mind. The experience is really, really fantastic. We're just so excited to be able to offer this service, and right now you can book for only $78 a session, which is an incredible steal. So, getting back to my original topic, which is self-care. This is something that women in our culture really struggle with, at least from my point of view. We really struggle with self-care, especially if we're married or have children, or really anybody depending on us to take care of us, to take care of them. We sacrifice our own needs to take care of others. And while that's appropriate if you're dealing in a very limited set of circumstances, for example, if you're dealing with an infant, you are going to need to sacrifice to care for the infant because the infant can't take care of herself. But, your husband can probably find a way to cook dinner for himself 3 or 4 nights a week if he had to. He is an adult, and nowadays most husbands have actually lived on their own before marriage, so they have some working knowledge of a kitchen. And I just use those two examples because they come to mind so readily. So I want to talk about self-care. And I've talked about this before. I used a video where I showed a pitcher of water, and I was pouring it into a row of cups, and it ran out. And I pointed out how that's like us. If we are not taking care of ourselves, we run out of care and love to offer to others. And that's a problem. So it doesn't benefit anyone if we sacrifice our sleep, our diet, our personal hygiene, our doctor's appointments. That doesn't benefit others, because if we then become ill because we haven't taken care of ourselves, we can no longer care for anyone else. So what are some ways that we can care for ourselves? A lot of times we don't even know. We have lost touch with what we enjoy, what we appreciate, what our hobbies used to be. So, one thing to do that I encourage people to do is to remember your hobbies. What did you used to do when you had spare time? Way back in the dark ages, when you had spare time that wasn't obligated. Maybe you're going to have to think back to when you were a kid. Maybe that's the last time you actually had free time. What did you do? I drew. I loved to bake things with my mom. I told stories. Those were some huge chunks of my time. And nowadays I am an author. I bake bread. I also bake cookies. And I don't really draw anymore. I do counter cross stitch, which is similar. So, you can see how there's a connection between as a child and then as an adult. I also read voraciously, and that is something that is also very difficult to do as a mom. I've definitely noticed that has been harder for me to keep up my practice, but it benefits me greatly. So that's one suggestion. Think back. What are some hobbies? Now, maybe you had hobbies before in the past that are no longer practical. For example, you might have played an instrument and now you've suffered some sort of injury and it's no longer possible for you to play that instrument. Or you don't have an instrument, or your instrument was the drums and you live in an apartment with one room, so you can't get a drum set. You know, sometimes our hobbies just don't grow up with us or they aren't feasible. So then you need to find another way, another hobby. Find something that is related to that skill. Maybe if you were playing music, maybe you could listen to music. Maybe you should start going to see live bands perform. Um, maybe you could look into taking private lessons. I actually played the pipe organ in college and I loved it. And at one point in the last 10 years, I actually went to Duke University and took private organ lessons there. And I would practice in their practice facilities because obviously I don't have a pipe organ in my house. So think creatively, think outside of the box. Think about how you can reconnect with a hobby. If you were a big baker or cooker and maybe your kid is a picky eater and they won't eat anything, try having one night where it's adventure night. And if they don't like, they have to try one bite, and if they don't like it, they go hungry. You know, I would say that I'm kind of a mean mom, uh, and I say that in jest. But the point being, find a way to reconnect with a past hobby. That's a really great way to start out on your self-care and then start carving out some time for it. So for today, think about some hobbies, find a way to pick one back up. That's a great step for self-care.